YouTube Nation, what is up? Eagles Truth here with you. And yes, I know it's been a long time. A long time. I think the last video I made was, God, when the Eagles lost to the Seahawks after the 2019 season. It's been that long. It's been that long. And what's kept me away? Well, you know, my career's been taken off. Bought a new house. Bought a Tesla. Which, by the way, if you have ever test driven a Tesla, I highly recommend it. It'll change your life. I'm a very impulsive buyer. I buy a lot of things that I later regret. All right, it's my flaw. After a year in this baby, I can honestly say I have not regretted it. It's been like the best purchase I've ever made. I love it. But anyway, this is not a Tesla video. This is an Eagles video. And a lot has happened, not just in my life like I just was talking about, but with the Birds. Oh my goodness. One, you guys knew I was a Carson Wentz fan ever since the 2017 season, and just him should have been the MVP. I think Brady ended up winning it that year, and despite missing 3 games, Carson Wentz still had more touchdown passes than Brady. The most touchdown passes was Russell Wilson that year, and I think he only had 1 more. Keep in mind, Wentz missed 3 games. So I mean, that just tells you how much of a good season he was having. And then 2018 happened, and he wasn't as good, and he hurt himself again. And I tried to tell myself, you know, it was the year after the injury, came back too soon, whatever, blah, blah, blah. 2019 season came, and he wasn't that good. But right when I was just about to get off the bandwagon and be like, maybe it was just a flash in the pan, he kind of, with nothing to work with, won the last 4 games, got the Eagles in the playoffs, and everything like that. So I was like, okay. And then the 2020 season happened, and it was just something about his leadership. And we saw it again with the Colts. You know, the Colts, they let him go. There's something about him that's not right. He's got all the freaking intangibles and talent in the world, but the leadership or something in the locker room is not right. Something's off. If he ever puts it together, he's a damn good quarterback. He's a damn good quarterback if he ever puts it together. Will he ever put it together? I'm not so sure. If he does with the Commanders, which, by the way, Commanders? What the... Anyway. If he ever puts it together with them, they're going to be a dangerous team. But, yeah. I was for moving on from him. I was. Despite how much of a fan I was once of his, something's not right. You know, so... However, I'm not a fan of Jalen Hurts either. There's so many games last year where I was like, dude, screw this head coach, screw this defensive coordinator, and screw this quarterback. Oh my God. We'll see. Jonathan Gannon, no more freaking excuses. We're going to get into that, but no more freaking excuses now, bro. Everyone's lauding Sirianni for adapting from going pass heavy to run heavy. For adapting. Oh, he adapted. Really? Really? It took him 7 games. 8 games. It took him 8 games. After the first game, we were all happy. But after the second game, we were like, whoa, way too pass heavy, bro. We need to run more. Okay. Next game. Dude, way too pass heavy. Got to run more. Okay. Next game. Dude, way too pass. You know what I mean? Like, it was like wait for 7 games. And then finally on the 8th game, he starts. It took him that long. And we're I mean, I guess it's good to do it, then never do it. But my God, it took him a long time to switch over. So I'm not as praiseworthy in that respect as far as him adapting as everybody else is. It took you too long, bro. It took you too long. You should have been, after week 2 went south. Okay, week 3 went south. Okay, week 4 went south. By week 5, you should have been like run heavy. Like, it took you way too fucking long to get there. But that's whatever. I'm not a... But what saves me with Sirianni is when you go back and you look at the tape, there was receivers open. There was receivers open. The running game look good. His offense works, or his offense would work if we had a quarterback that could deliver the ball on time and everything like that. So I'm a little less critical of Sirianni outside of how long it took him to switch over. But Jonathan Gannon, bro, I'm going to be watching you like a target is on you. And Jalen Hurts, I obviously want him to succeed. I'm not rooting against the guy. I want him to succeed. Because if he succeeds, that means we have 2 first-round picks next year that doesn't have to go to a quarterback. We can continue building the team. That's obviously a great thing. So, of course I'm not going to sit there and root against him. I want him to succeed. And he's got great leadership. He's well-liked in the locker room. He puts the work in. All that stuff is like anti-Carson Wentz. Like, it's great. But again, like, you got to do it on the field. At the end of the day, it's got to produce. So I'm rooting for him. I'm not a fan of his yet. I wish we had a better quarterback. But I am rooting for him, that he proves me wrong, and that we don't have to use those first-round picks next year on a quarterback. We can just continue building the team. That's in the best interest of us, right? Okay, so let's get to this offseason. So, look, you looked at this team. There was a lot of holes. This was a hard team to get excited for. It was just, think about all the holes we had. Safety, cornerback, linebacker, pass rush. That's every single level of the defense. Like, for fuck's sake. Then we needed a wide receiver. Bad. On offense. So there's just, and even our quarterback's a question that we will answer this year. So you just looked at it, there was just so much. We finally signed Hassan Reddick, and at the time I was not excited. I wasn't, because it was not the piece we needed. Now, when you take into effect everything else we've done, now the Hassan Reddick pick looks so much better. Or not pick, but signing. Looks so much better. Because at the time, it was like, what are we doing? This isn't a defensive lineman. We're going to do a pass rush through a hybrid like linebacker. Like, what are we doing? We don't go into a 3-4 or whatever, which sucks. We barely got linebackers now. Like, what are we doing? It made no sense. Now it makes much more sense once everything has been pieced together. So I wasn't super excited. I was like, okay, great piece, but we really needed a receiver worse, or we needed a cornerback worse, or we needed a defensive end pass rusher more. We needed, linebacker more. Like, and I guess technically he's a linebacker, but you know what I mean. So I wasn't that excited. And then we get to the draft, and oh my God. I wanted Jameson Williams. All right, I knew Sauce Gardner, who was the number 1 person I wanted, but I knew we weren't going to get him, and it would take too much. I didn't want to give up what we'd have to give up to get up there to get him. So I knew Sauce Gardner and Stingley were going to be gone. I knew Jameson Williams either might be there, or we might only have to go up a couple picks to get him. And sure enough, the other team started picking the other wide receivers, which that's usually what happens when there's an injury. So I was like, yes. And then he got picked right before us. I'm like, no! I was so upset. I was so mad. But if you would have told me, who would you rather have? A.J. Brown or Jameson Williams? I would have picked A.J. Brown. I would have picked him. He's already proven. And he's young, I would have picked him in a heartbeat. So not only do we use a first-round pick to get A.J. Brown, we used the second of our 2 first-round picks to get A.J. Brown. So I was like, oh my God. And then we get Jordan Davis on top of it. Then somehow, some way we get Nakobe Dean, who I think was a first-round pick. I actually like Dean better than Lloyd. I do. That was just me. I just think the leadership, the intangibles, just the way he moves around, flies around, that was my thing. Some people are different. So the fact that we got Nakobe Dean, A.J. Brown, Jordan Davis, get Juergens as well. Why not? Because we do have to replace Kelsey here soon, so that's going to be a need. It was like, oh my God. And then we get James Bradbury after that, and then we get the other linebacker that was, I think, before the draft, who's legit. You start looking at everything we did, it's like, damn. Now you look at our needs. Look at our offense. Our offense is stacked, man. It is stacked outside the quarterback, but it is stacked. You got one of the best, if not the best offensive line. Miles Sanders is a hell of a running back when healthy, but we do have good backs on this team. You got, think about this. People knew that the Eagles had nobody at wide receiver other than Devontae Smith. That's all we had. So think about all the coverage that went his way. And this bro still got open so many times. A lot that he didn't, I mean, he should have had over 1,000 yards. He should have had over 1,000 yards if we had a better quarterback that could get him the ball. If we weren't so run heavy. Think about that. Facing the number one corner and all the secondary's attention, he still should have really had over 1,000 yards. And now he's going to be cornerback number 2. Or now he's going to get cornerback number 2. Now he's not going to get everybody's attention. A.J. Brown is. Think about how dangerous that is. You have 2 bona fide receivers. And you want to know the crazy thing? Everybody's so happy about A.J. Brown, including me. I don't think he's the best receiver on this team. I think Devontae Smith is the best receiver on this team. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. You got a great tight end, Dallas Goedert. I mean, you look around this offense, it's freaking stacked. No weaknesses, other than maybe the quarterback. That's a pretty big spot, you know. But assuming he just takes a step forward, like you look at the offense, it is stacked, bro. Defense, yeah, we still need safeties. I would still like a legit defensive end, a 10+ sack capable defensive end. And then if we get that, bro, we actually got linebackers now. Like, what the fuck? You look at what Jordan Davis can do. Yeah, I think he can pass rush. Why can't he? He's a big boy and he can move. That should right there. I mean, he's strong, big, and athletic as all hell. That should equal pass rushing capability if we just let common sense sink into play, you know? But even without the pass rushing, what he can do for the linebackers and the other ends, and just, you start looking at this team, and if Jonathan Gannon can just be an average defensive coordinator, and if Jalen Hurts can just be an average, or can just take another step forward. It doesn't got to be a huge step, but just another step forward. Yeah, why can't this team win the division? Why can't it win the division and make some noise in the playoffs? Why can't it? I mean, you start looking at the roster, and the crazy thing is they're young, and it just makes sense. It pieces all together. Unlike 2011, the Dream Team, where it was just like boom, boom, just going after names. It actually works. You know, Bradbury, very good zone corner. What do we like to play? Zone, a lot of zone. It just all makes sense. And that's again Bradbury. He's going to be facing number 2 receivers, not number 1s. It just, everything works better. You're taking people that have been good at facing top competition, and now they're going to face the second wave of that competition, not the first. Like you're bringing them down in competition. You know, like they were already good facing the top guys. Now they're going to face the second best guys. It's just, it's very easy to get excited for this year. It's very easy. All right. The one thing I will say is safety, defensive end. How is Jalen Hurts going to be? How is Jonathan Gannon going to be? And depth. Because let's say James Bradbury or Slay go down. Now who you got? You know? So that there's those type of things, you know? So we'll see. All right? If A.J. Brown got hurt for a game, you're trotting out the exact same offense of last year. you know. So there's certain things, there's depth that we would need, but it's looking pretty good, guys. All right, 15 minutes, way over what I want to do. So I'm out. I'm gonna go in, get my hair cut, and maybe go out and get something to eat. Take care, guys. Peace.